I think her reaction is this has been a little bit of a buildup. I would say your horizon for a long time is a very short distance.
It's small, but it's more action-packed with nutrition as opposed to just your average chicken egg.
I don't think there is such a thing, but okay, let's go with it.
Hypothetical, right? Our heads and the way our minds work are in completely different places. Your forelimbs are strapped to a wall and you are fully nude. In her mind, this is exactly what she was picturing all along, and it's maybe not what he was thinking it was going to be. Is this a thing with men? Is me being sweet somehow making me less attractive? Shooting me with 1,000 extra eggs at the same speed and same distance is going to take much longer than the 2,000 chicken eggs.
I think they both genuinely had this elation that this is what they wanted. However, the reality of them being together on a day-to-day basis, they went from having their own space to having no space. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Munch Corner. I'm Omar, one of your hosts, and this is my beautiful wife, Savannah.
And if you are watching, we have our official sign.
Yes, so we're very happy about that. It took us a little while to do this. I have to give a lot of credit to Savannah. She is very detail-oriented, and she has certain things in mind, and I think we got a great one. So we are very happy to have that. And now we have our little logo and name. And so we are growing and we're very good to see everybody with us.
It is really fun to make this set, I think, into our little cozy corner. And
no pun intended on the Munch Corner thing, right?
Munch Corner. There we go.
A little cozy Munch Corner. So just to be sure.
So it's become more and more special and we love putting more detail into it. And we hope visual listeners and watchers get to appreciate it as much as we do.
So we do have our usual little tea thing that's going on. So I brought a more traditional tea this time for Savannah to enjoy. Now, just for the audience's sake, you might think these are very ordinary mugs.
Ceylon?
No, Earl Grey.
Okay. Sometimes I mix the two up. Yeah. Very good.
So we do those are the two traditional teas that we tend to really go to. But I want to give a small little plug. These mugs, even though they may seem to be ordinary, they are not. They came from our trip to Scotland, and they're made by a really wonderful Scottish artist named John. So we actually do appreciate it, and it helps us think about the traveling we do. And
you know what? I'll actually go ahead and put his shop in the description. Since we're mentioning him, we'll put it down there. And if you're interested in looking at it, each piece is its own. It's handmade, so it's not anything mass produced. So every item is very unique. So we have a few things from him. We have a wonderful fruit bowl as well in these wonderful blue colors. So we'll pop them down below if you guys are interested.
So we might call that Scottish blue, maybe.
Scottish blue. There we go.
Okay. We're naming this for him. So mind you, he didn't tell us this. However, he's an incredibly nice person. He made a big shift in his desire to be a creative and an artist rather than just doing more corporate, ordinary work. So we're very happy to be part of his journey.
Yeah. He's very, very talented. I think the last we spoke to him, he was opening up his shop on one of the main streets.
Yes, exactly.
So we're very excited for him for that. He's probably all up and running. So today we're just going to bring you a bit of a story time. Nothing specific, no topic. Stories that jumped out in the titles, and we'll come along with you and read them and see where it takes us. I'm not too sure, so...
Well, we're going to enjoy this. So we're going to be listening to stories, and I really do like this because oftentimes these stories are sort of in advance of something that happened. When we start doing some of the other work that we do, we end up reacting to something that's already happened. So this is kind of nice. This is a little shift. So I'm excited. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. First one. My boyfriend and my best friend are arguing over a hypothetical question and I can't decide what to say.
That happens all the time to us.
Oh, don't you love a hypothetical?
It's like living in the what if, what if you jumped off of a cliff?
No, let me tell you. Don't you ever feel like when someone asks you a hypothetical question, what's the chances that you're ever going to be in that position?
You won't, but there's something in their mind. It's
always an extreme, is it not?
Usually it is, yes.
Right.
So what if I had to jump into the sea and I had a battery in the boat that was going to electrocute me, or the sharks are going to get me? And I'm laughing at this one because this actually, without jumping into any little political things, and so I'll sort of stay away from that, but it was a political kind of a joke. So if those of you who might understand where it comes from, it was one of those incredible hypotheticals that I just said, really? What are your chances that you're going to get electrocuted by your bow battery?
I'm pretty sure
or
you'll
the
be
shark's
okay.
going to get you? Yeah, probably neither of the two.
It's probably down the same line as, would you rather jump into a bathtub full of snakes or swim in the ocean with sharks surrounding you?
That's Fear Factor. They made a show for
I
that.
know.
Yeah. So
I actually loved that show as a child.
So let's see what our hypothetical is.
Here is our hypothetical, everyone. I need help finding the most logical answer so my best friend and boyfriend can move past the situation.
Gosh, it sounds serious.
Most logical answer. Okay.
This is going to be a tough one. So just to give everybody kind of a background, one of my fatal flaws is I am very logical. And
that's what happens when you're a civil engineer.
Yeah, I know. I don't have to say that too loudly, though.
Civil engineer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Last night, my boyfriend, 23 male, best friend, 18 male, and I am a 19-year-old female, were calling on Discord when I asked what seemed like an innocent question. After 30 minutes of discussion, they're now forcing me to pick a side. Here's the situation. Your 4 limbs are strapped to a wall and you are fully nude.
Say that one more time. What?
Your 4 limbs are strapped to a wall and you are completely nude.
Bruh.
Wow. Now this is going off in some very interesting hypothetical. Okay.
Okay.
4 arms are strapped
Can we
to
all
the wall.
imagine that? Can you all picture that? We're all strapped against the wall.
We're strapped against the wall.
Our limbs are tied up.
And we're nude.
And we're naked.
Okay. Hopefully it's not too cold. So,
you will be fully conscious throughout the entire scenario.
Gosh, this sounds like one of those Fear Factor things, doesn't it?
It does.
Almost like you. For the audience, we love Halloween, so I'm going to jump there for just a quick second. But we don't want to do the Halloween event where you have to wave everything, which means you'll be strapped nude and they can do whatever
these
they can do to you.
Extreme ones where they can do anything to you and you have to basically wave that you're not going to do any.
All right, so
you're not going to sue them. Or,
well, of course, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
No. All right, let's see what we have here. So, hypothetically.
3 people surround you with paintball guns that are modified to shoot eggs.
I don't think there is such a thing, but okay, let's go with
Hypothetical, right? The power of a hypothetical.
We're living in a parallel universe. Let's see.
They give you 2 options. Either be shot by 1,000 chicken eggs or 3,000 quail eggs.
I could not even have seen that one coming. Okay, quail eggs versus chicken eggs. Yeah.
Both the chicken eggs and the quail eggs will be shot at the same speed and from the same distance. My best friend picks chicken eggs, but my boyfriend chooses quail eggs, and they're starting to get weirdly angry with each other. It's not that their disagreement is souring them, it's just that they both want me to agree with them. I don't understand why they're so invested in this, since it was originally just supposed to be a stupid question in a moment of silence, but now I feel like I need to find the correct answer.
So the reason they're so vested is because they're both still 12. That's the answer.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let's see. What is the...
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh, okay, there's more. This is good.
I don't want to upset any of them, so I want to be unbiased as unbiased as I can. I'm a bit bad with people, so I wanted to ask you guys which option you would choose. Any responses would be appreciated. She's really divided. She can't make this decision by herself.
All right, so to recap this, you're surrounded by 3 people, which means they've got angles of fire against you, which is not good, right?
Same speed, same distance.
And
do you want to be shot by 2,000 chicken eggs or 3,000 quail eggs? Let that sink in.
Yeah, and I think there's something very interesting about the fact that it's the thousands, right? I mean, so we got thousands of eggs. Those poor chickens that are laying all those eggs and those quails.
That's a lot of hard work. I like a good egg.
Yeah.
I like a good egg.
I mean, I can answer a little bit logically. I think the reason they're having this debate is, and I'll be the engineer for a second, but Obviously, the chicken eggs are bigger, so they would supposedly cause a bigger splash. But the quail eggs are smaller, and they technically would be harder because they're smaller and the shell's there.
I don't know. Who can answer that? Does a chicken egg or a quail egg have a lot harder shell?
They really should have been talking about the tastes, because I would really lean towards saying, what would taste better, quail egg or
Are
chicken?
you eating a raw chicken or quail egg as you're being
No.
shot at?
No, of course not. Not unless they flip them around and they got to shoot them in their mouth.
Well, this is about shooting. This ain't about eating.
Yeah, so they're tied, and so really it's their backside that's really going to be affected by all these eggs, all of them.
Well, you don't know what position they're facing in.
Well, for their sake, I'm assuming we hopefully.
Either which way, I don't think being shot by any type of egg in the
Yeah.
thousands is a great idea.
No, but you're not answering the question. It's a hypothetical. We're living in a parallel universe here.
I know, yeah.
So which one would you prefer?
Gosh, just do the 2,000 chicken eggs and get it over with sooner.
So it's a weird.
It's such a silly question. I'll just get it over and done with faster.
Okay.
So let me check back to see who went with which one.
Oh, do they have a poll on this? I'd be curious to see how it turns out.
Yeah, the best friend chose the chicken eggs.
The best friend chose the chicken eggs.
And the boyfriend went with the quail eggs. Let's see what everyone else is saying.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you know what this person said?
Let's see.
Pick 500 ostrich eggs and tell them both to go take a nap.
Oh my gosh, that's a good answer. That's a very good
You know
answer.
how big they are? I remember my grandparents having these ostrich eggs. They were preserved on their farm.
Yeah, the size of a small watermelon.
Oh my gosh, they're huge and hard. They're beautiful though.
You know what? It's even worse. I don't know about ostrich eggs because I've never handled one, but I've had a goose egg.
Those are like
in between in size.
Yes.
And they were like, when I had to crack that egg, and mind you, what's really funny is that one egg made a whole omelet because it's that big. So, but when I tried to crack that thing, that was a tough shell on that. It was.
I've never had a goose egg. Okay.
I think it would.
How did it taste?
It tasted. It's hard to say. It's like it tasted a little bit
gamey.
Gamey, yeah. It was still an egg.
Same with quail.
Yeah.
You know, my parents had a few quails, and they would give me a few. They gave me a few quail eggs every now and then. And when I initially tasted it, it's like you can taste. It's an egg, right? But it does have that gamey feel, and it's apparently. Whether I'm right or wrong, they said it's supposed to be, it's small, but it's more action packed with nutrition, as opposed to just your average chicken egg. But I couldn't really bring myself to eat them. I didn't like the taste. It's very, very different to what I'm used to.
Yeah, they're an acquired taste. But
okay, so you need to pick one.
I need to pick one.
So in hypotheticals, if it's something this silly, I just think about, all right, I'm going to pick the option that gets me out of this thing fastest. Okay. And shooting me with 1,000 extra eggs at the same speed and same distance is going to take much longer than the 2,000 chicken eggs. So it's like, okay, I'll just do the 2,000 and call it a day.
So the logic that if you wanted to throw, and this is so weird to actually have logic in this question because there's no logic into it whatsoever. So it's a thing of like momentum, right? It's the speed, mass. So clearly having the pinging of the quail eggs will be a lot less, but there'll be a lot more of them. So I would have to lean towards the quail egg from a weirdly physics logic kind of a thing.
Well, the boyfriend went with the quail too.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend went for the chicken.
Yeah. But I mean, however, I think for their both benefits, they should get 500 ostrich eggs. I think that's the right answer. If they have to ask this question, they need to be subject to the ostrich eggs.
Honestly, we're in the same boat as this commenter over here. I'm amazed that this is even a real question.
This is the world of hypotheticals we love so much. But it's actually kind of funny. I do think, yeah, what a weird one.
It's a strange one.
And I love the fact that they added this question about what's the logical answer. I think we stepped out of the world of logic a long time ago.
You know what? If this is something that thrills and excites you, I'll give you like a up
All
5.
power to you for hail the
Well,
eggs.
we're choosing you right now. For those of
Yeah.
you who can't see us, there's the cling, if you can hear it or not.
So I
I'm
added to it.
taking a sip in your honor.
Yes, and all hail the eggs. There we
All
go.
hail the eggs. When we get excited about something in this house, we have a 1-year-old little boy, soon to be 1.
Mm-hmm.
We lift the item in the air and we say, all hail the chicken fingers. All hail the omelet.
And the reason we do this is because our little man has a tendency to raise stuff above his head quite a bit.
When he gets excited,
So
if anyone is watching, it's like the hand goes up and he does this.
This motion.
Almost like when you're clicking in like really just excitement. It's this
So he has a very cute little habit. So we've kind of tied into it.
It's very sweet.
Forgive us for parents. We love our little boy. So
any excuse to make him laugh and smile, we'll take it. My girlfriend said my obsession is scaring her. I don't know what to do.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
21 male, 21 female.
Okay, they're even now. It's like a race. Let's do it.
So, hi everyone. I'm a 21 male and I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 21 female, for quite some time now. I genuinely love her deeply and I find myself constantly thinking about her.
Ooh,
I always want to talk to her or be around her. It's like she's always on my mind.
Very sweet. Okay. I like the setup here, and I'm waiting for the obsession piece.
But today, during a casual chat, she suddenly said, "Your obsession is scaring me." That really shook me. I wasn't expecting that, and now I left feeling confused and worried. I never intended to make her uncomfortable. I just feel extremely emotionally connected to her. And now I'm wondering if I might be expressing that in a way that's overwhelming. How can I recognize when my love is coming off as too intense or obsessive?
This is actually a
He
really
like
good one.
Such a sweet guy.
Well, okay. So remember, we have two people here, right? I mean, so he has an intention of absolutely loving his girlfriend.
He's clearly very hands-on and affectionate.
And hands-on affectionate. She may not be. I mean, she may view things differently. Like. So I don't know that I would say he's being obsessive, but she clearly wants a little bit of space, a little bit of distance.
I can see that. I mean, as soon as you start using such a strong word as your obsession is scaring me, I'm pretty sure that threw him off quite a bit. Especially because there's a difference between the actual term of obsession, which leans towards a very negative light. It's not meant to, I think, be used in a very endearing way. Obsession is oftentimes something that's pretty unhealthy.
Well, here's something. We've got their age here, so I'll throw that in there.
They're both the same age, yes.
Well, not the same age. It's where they are in life.
Where they are. Mm-hmm.
So there is, I think, from a male's perspective at that age, and it's been a few years for me, but not that many. The whole idea behind falling in love and falling head over heels at an age where it's not tempered with wisdom, right? So life kind of brings you that. There is this idea that I'm going to jump into it feet first, and there's not going to be anything else. There's no thinking anything more about it. So I think that's where he is right now in life. It's not at all a bad place. But the recipient of it
He's secretly telling everyone how I fell in love with him.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly right.
You guys remember? Yes.
I dove head first.
So I think from his point of view, he's totally enthralled with her, which means he wants to be with her all the time. He's thinking about her all the time.
He thinks about her all the time.
So, but if he thinks about her in a way that is absolutely loving and absolutely wanting her happiness, then it's a very innocent and beautiful.
It's coming from a place of innocence.
So one of the things you'll hear us talk about over a period of time is you can have lots of behavior, but the real portion that drives it is intention. So if his intention is to love her fully, and his intention is to find the joy that's with her. And this is the beautiful part about love. I mean, this is why it's like eternal, and it happens at any age. that's different than if his intention happens to be possessive, right? I mean, so the behavior could be similar, be around all sorts of things. But I sense that this guy is just having a very innocent, absolutely, and
I
head
don't
over
think
heels
I
love for
heard
her.
anything about obsession. Again, he's obviously the one writing this post, so you can be very selective about the details that you're putting in. There's a difference in saying, I need to be with her all the time, as opposed to, I love being around her and I find myself thinking about her all the time.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what type of person are you to read into that. For me, it feels like, again, you said he's young, he's enthralled, he's deeply in love, and she's probably gotten to the point where she's probably read a lot into these actions and she's feeling overwhelmed, and she's pushing back now because it's like maybe she feels like it's not normal for this long in a relationship. He said they've been together for quite a while. He did not state how long.
Yeah, and quite a while is a relative thing at every age.
Some people can find a few months.
That's quite a while.
Or close to a year, a while.
Yeah.
And we would look at a while as, I think, several years. It depends on what situation it is as well.
And just projecting a little bit onto them, and I don't want to do that too much because they're obviously on their own journeys, but at 21, I would say your horizon for a long time is a very short distance. In other words, if you're looking a year at 21, that looks like a long time. I think if you move along in life and when you're in your 30s and 40s, a year doesn't seem as long. I mean, it's still the same amount of time,
it's almost like that saying, like when someone, it's their birthday and they're turning 30 or they're going into a big 40 or 50. It's like, how am I already 30 or 40 years old? Because you feel like that much time surely has not passed already. Yeah. So I can see what you mean with where they are in their journey, and
it's just a
where
little
they
bit
feel
of that.
Where they are right now feels like a long time, and they need to talk. I think he's communicating the way he loves giving her love and affection, and shows how much he loves her in this particular way, and she might be feeling like it's too much of the affection side rather than everything else.
I think she probably is. I know. I mean, I can almost feel this guy. He's hurting because his intention was really just to love her completely. He
was really shocked.
Yeah, and so he was taken completely off guard. The other thing I will throw in here, which is a little bit of the female-male dynamic. There's the desire, I think, from both sides to be chaste. And I think she may feel like he's just there too much. And so she may actually want to be able to seek him out. The other thing is that really sort of stood out for me in the story is there's a dynamic that you are your own individual. I mean, you're going to grow, you're going to do your own things. Mm-hmm. And by having that difference, you bring a lot back to a relationship. And if you have somebody that really just wants to spend all of their time with you, you need a little bit of your own time. And so she's probably experiencing, I need to have my own journey as well, and then come back to them and be together. So I think there's a balance.
I mean, it goes back to, are you spending absolutely all of your time with this person? Or are you seeing family and friends? Can you go to the grocery store? Can you do something without them and not feel like, oh my gosh, you're basically deprived, if I'm going to use such a strong term. It's no different to, there's a few things that we need to get done, but instead of us doing them both together, we can divide and conquer, get it done much quicker, and get everything done as opposed to slower. He might be wanting to be with her all the time. Let's have a look at what this person said.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, you can recognize it because she told you so. Ask her more. Tell her what you want to understand. In the meantime, know that some people in a healthy relationship don't actually want to be obsessed over. A partner wants a partner. They want you to have your own life, things you do and want outside of the relationship, etc.
I think that's pretty well said.
I think, that really ties into, can you do things independently by yourself and be okay? Yes, because you guys are still going to meet back together in the end of the day. It's no different to, you have a job, I have a different job, we're going out to work and we're coming home to each other. Doesn't mean I didn't think about you all day, but there's a healthy balance of realistically, we have to work. We have to be in different places at the same time and get things done.
Yeah, life tends to get you there. I think at 21, you may not quite be there because you're not fully independent.
It's definitely, I think, where they are in life,
so
like you mentioned.
I always put it there. Now, from her side, I will also project a little bit, since obviously we don't know much about her at all, except what's written here. I think her reaction is this has been a little bit of a buildup, and she's seen him and been with him. And I think she snapped. Mm-hmm. I think that snapping, she used words that she probably did not really intend. So she's not communicating to him that I need to be able to do certain things and I want to be with you, but I also need to explore my own journey. So unfortunately, that reaction would have caused for him, I think, a very hurtful response, in the sense that it was deeply wounding for him to say, you're obsessed over me, as opposed to her taking a more gentle way.
Can I add something in that maybe she's done? She's probably spoken to someone about how he's acting, and they might have put it in her mind. That sounds a little bit obsessive. Maybe she spoke to a friend, and her friend came across and said, girls talk, okay? Girls love chatting about...
We've had this part as a theme along the way. It's like, if you're looking for advice from the people around you that really haven't lived, then the advice they're giving you is they're figuring it out at the same time as you're figuring it out. It's like
listen to what people say, but
and I'm positive at her age she would be, and they're both at the same age roughly, where their peer group is very important to them, right? So
of course,
and so she's probably talking to her peer group, and then her peer group will sort of like, I don't want to say inflict this on her, but plant the seed or reinforce that this is an obsessive behavior and reading into it. Yeah, I think you're right.
She probably...
That's a good read.
Got a commentary from one of her friends, and now she's like, gosh, you're so right. He's obsessing over me. How did I not see that before?
I'll even throw more into this. It's and I don't want to keep adding to it, but I would say she's probably looking also at things that are online. They're saying, oh, if you look at the sign, here are the 5 signs that your boyfriend is obsessed with you. And this is somebody who's really shouldn't be providing advice like this. No. So unfortunately, I think there's a little bit of that. But
okay, so this next topic goes down the realm, I think, of what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Particularly, I found this one and thought it would be an interesting one to ask you. I haven't obviously read everything.
Me?
You?
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize we'd have a personalized story for this. This is good.
It's not personalized.
I'm very flattered.
Yeah, I'm so glad. So it would be nice to get your perspective on this.
Okay.
So, does affection push some men away? All right. Okay. I, 35 female, moved in with my dog.
Did she move in with her dog?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I think I was thinking about the dogs there for a second. She moved in with her long distance boyfriend.
That's random. Just like a dog, but different, right?
Sorry, I don't know where my mind was. Okay.
I think we know where he's sleeping tonight.
Oh my gosh.
In the dog house.
Okay. Long distance boyfriend, 44 male.
Okay, so they're long in their life. Okay, that's good. Let's see.
They have a 9-year age gap, from what I can tell, of about 3 years a couple weeks ago, and noticed a weird trend. The sweeter I am, the more affection I show, the more nice things I do, the more he seems to pull away. When I first moved in, he would compliment me, make me dinner and bring me snacks, and ask for kisses. As I got more comfortable here, I started doing those things back, and now he's stopped. To be clear, he isn't mean or silent. He thanks me when I compliment him, smiles and gladly kisses me back when I ask, and kindly declines when I offer him snacks or to get him a drink, etc.
Okay.
Once I noticed this change, I got more affectionate. texting him thank yous and telling him how much I appreciate him and offering to cook and clean more. But now he's even more distant and kind of keeping to himself more. Is this a thing with men? Is me being sweet somehow making me less attractive? I'm doing more and feeling like he loves me less. This wasn't an issue when we were long distance. I'm just trying to show him how genuinely happy I am living here. And it makes life better. But it seems to be backfiring and I don't get it. I thought men really liked feeling appreciated and being taken care of.
This is a really good one. So I'm going to sort of re-paraphrase this a little bit. They had a long distance relationship, which means they had very separate lives, which means they each retreated back to their own lives. So we've experienced that because we've had two separate households for so long until you could come.
Yeah, we were long distance.
So we were long distance. So the challenge with long distance is you're not seeing the other person day to day.
So when you do happen to have time with that person, it feels
there's an elation. It's very special. You know.
And it makes me think about absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Right. So the desire, and I mean, I could see it particularly with you and I. So we'll bring a little bit of us into this equation. So Savannah was in a holding position. She was not able to go out and fulfill all the things that she wanted to do with her life because she was...
The process we were in, and at the time, for me to get my paperwork done for us to be in the same place. Right. This was kind of the... What's the term we like using? I would say...
Well, I mean, it certainly was well, let me rephrase it slightly. She sat in what I would call limbo.
That's the word I was looking for.
So
it's waking up every day and not knowing where you stand with the government. Again, we're not going to dive too much into it, but let's see what you wanted to say.
So what's happened is you have two people that are retreating back to their own lives, and yet they spend time together. So the amount of time that they have with each other is limited. So it's the difference of going on vacation with somebody and actually living with somebody. When you're going on vacation, you know, you're experiencing a short period of time where a lot of emotions go in there, and oftentimes they're really happy emotions because you've been apart, so you miss each other. And then when you get back to like a day-to-day routine, that's a very different type of energy. So she is attempting to provide that level of energy that she had, I think, in the times they were together. But now it is in an everyday situation. So she doesn't, I hate to say this, but I don't think she fully understands, and neither does he, exactly what it means. Now, the other thing I want to throw into here is their ages. So if you are in your 20s and you've just moved in with somebody, there's a lot more flexibility in how you are and how you sort of evolve because you're growing. But when you get somebody who's already 40, and she's not 40, so she's a little bit younger than that, but she also has certain habits and he has certain habits. And particularly if he's lived alone, then his habits include whatever his routine is. It doesn't really matter what it is. And it could be the gym, it could be work, it could be whatever he does. So now that's changed, the dynamics have changed, and now she's present there. So the idea of being together didn't really get a chance to evolve.
Do you think they almost... in her mind, this is exactly what she was picturing all along, and it's maybe not what he was thinking it was going to be?
I think there's a little bit of that dynamic. So the hard part about all this is with relationships like this, particularly long distance ones, is if you are separated, but the only way you're going to be together is to be immediately together, there's going to be a little bit of a challenge because you're and you've experienced it too. You're walking into somebody else's life, their environment, because you're obviously in one of the two environments, yours or hers. And so that's a change where there's an adjustment that comes through. And it sounds like she walked into his environment. So if she's in his environment, then she doesn't have her own environment with her.
I can speak on that because, our situation was when we traveled to see each other, Omar and I, we would go to a different country. It wasn't always the case of he came to visit me down in South Africa. I never came to visit him in the United States just because I didn't have the visa. But when you, as myself, walk into the United States and Omar obviously has everything set up over here and he's welcoming me into the United States, there's this little bit of exclusion you feel. Not that he's making me feel excluded, but just very much everything is new. Everything is this new adjustment, and but there's this new level of excitement but nervousness at the same time, which is probably the excitement part of, she says, I'm just constantly expressing how happy I feel because I feel so happy. Whereas he could find this like, this is my ordinary day outside of the fact that you're here now. So he might not find it as exhilarating as what she might be. I don't think there was a clarification on whether she came to him. They just moved in together.
Yeah, but it I don't know, for some reason, maybe I just misread that or mislistened to it. But
they just moved in together and they've been living together for about 2-3 weeks. Been together long distance 3 years.
Right. But this, I maybe I should have not assumed this, but I assumed that she was coming to his environment rather than the other way around.
It's still a little bit strange that he was initially doing that to begin with and he stopped.
It's not, I don't think it's quite as strange, remember, because I think the first time they came together, they were functioning.
It's like the buildup of the emotion was,
but it was also like
bottled.
their long distance thing. So I mean, if you think about the amount of time you want to spend, and you get a very limited amount of time with the other person you want to be with.
So you make it count.
You make it count, but daily life isn't like that. You're not every day living on that vacation where you're focused on each other. You've got all the other things in life that comes in. You know, stuff that's routine for all of us. It's like, well, you have a job, your car breaks down, you got to take care of mowing the lawn. I mean, whatever it might be. And so that sort of set in, I think, over a period of time that wasn't there initially. So I think she came in
2 or 3 weeks.
Well, but keep in mind,
maybe
so how much
as
time
well.
were they?
He could also be going through something, and it's not on his mind right now to intentionally compliment her and do these things.
Well,
because stress can play a factor as well, or something else is going on, where maybe for this period of time he's not doing a specific thing. And I can speak on it from our relationship as well. You know, you go through a period of time where something stands out to you, like a compliment, or gosh, he really likes me in that dress, or it's this moment in our life where this specific.
By the way, I love your dress.
Oh, thank you.
And I actually
did
really
compliment my dress this morning, so thank you. Where something is very freshly in your mind, and then it's almost like, it's not that it deteriorates or completely disappears, but it's like, okay, now I'm going to move on to the next thing.
I'll take one more step beyond that. There is that part, but they're going into an evolution now in their relationship that's not what it was before. So,
you would say it's coming out of the honeymoon phase?
I don't really like using that term so much because the honeymoon phase is, like, I would say, overrated. There's a lot of euphoric feeling during a honeymoon phase, but the true love of life is that lifetime, and you're not going to live in the honeymoon phase. It would be like you wanting.
It's just a state of feeling.
Yeah, it's like you'd wake up in the morning and you want to feel those butterflies, like, oh my gosh, this guy looked at me and I'm really happy, and you get this butterfly effect. But your long-term love and the deep love isn't the butterfly effect. It's a starting point. That's
very fleeting.
It's fleeting.
That's why it's called a little bit of the butterfly effect, because it is fleeting. But
that's beautiful. It's
sweet in the moment, and it gives you this real burst of excitement and feeling. But what's the chances that's going to last? Because you can have that little thrill of excitement, or, oh my gosh, that guy at work just complimented me, and you read into it, but it's not going to last. You need to look at something that's strong enough where, no, he might not compliment her every single day, but it's not necessarily the case that you need to read into it that he's now lost an interest in you.
So
it's very easy to do that.
So I think and it's just again me reading into it because we don't have enough background, but I really do feel that she moved into his environment. And the reason for that is because I think she is doing these wonderful acts of service towards him that are very geared around.
I moved in
with okay, so she did.
So we can assume that, I think.
We can assume that. So if I had to pick a way for somebody to do this, and this is like ideal circumstances, you would want her to move into the environment. In other words, the place, the location, and establish herself. And then you get this gradual thing. I mean, Savannah and I went to the movies for the first time a couple weeks ago. For the first time. We've been married for years now.
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other for years now, but we've not had a chance to sit down and have a cup of coffee. You know, I mean, of course, we've had plenty of coffee. We love our coffee, but we did not get a chance during the first year of our relationship to have that at all. I mean, one thing was also COVID, so that didn't help. But you have this kind of environment where normally you would be able to meet somebody for a cup of coffee, go out on a date, have dinner.
That brings it to a different point though. So much is online now.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's meet up and go for a movie.
Right. But it wasn't so much the movie, it was this physical interaction that you had. So they've had these moments of time, so spurts where they're seeing each other, but they've never had this, I'll see you on Tuesday and then I got to take care of some things and let's go have dinner on Saturday or whatever it would be, where they're integrating their lives at a different pace. They've gone from long distance to immediate integration when she moved in. And I think they both genuinely had this elation that this is what they wanted. However, the reality of them being together on a day-to-day basis, they went from having their own space to having no space because they're right there together. And if she's moving into his environment, she's not necessarily fully established yet.
Let's have a look at what this person said over here.
Let's see.
So take this with a grain of salt, but when I moved in with my girlfriend, I think she expected it to be a 24/7 date and always a romantic dynamic. Not saying you had those expectations, but for me to be charming and romantic, it takes active energy, and after the stress of moving, I just didn't have the energy to do that stuff as much. Personally, I need space to just let my brain go blank and dissociate from reality. My girlfriend didn't seem to understand it, but I just asked for space to blank out.
He's absolutely right.
It's related to...
It's completely related.
It can't be this very romantic fairy tale every single time because the reality is life.
Well,
life is not always thrill, excitement, giddiness. It's...
Well, beyond that, from a male perspective, there's always these jokes about, you're going to your nothing box for men, right? I mean, this idea that you're zoning out. But it is a disconnection that I think, and I'm not going to speak for women, because you could speak very much for women, but from a male point of view, that's an important thing. And it's not going into a nothing box because I think that's a little bit derogatory. It's the idea of being able to disconnect and sort of unwind and let everything that's been building up for your day, your job, the driving, whatever it is, there is this idea that you need a moment, and sometimes it's longer than a moment, to just be empty, not have anything kind of coming in. So I don't think he's trying to stay away from her. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to find a way to balance it out. So I think just to kind of bring it back to her question, I think he absolutely loves the affection, but I think she needs to temper it with he's not everything. He cannot be everything to her. And
this is where I think from a female perspective that she might be someone who needs the constant reminder, which isn't a bad thing. You're not wrong for it, because I'm pretty guilty too. Sometimes you feel like if it's not being said or shown, it's been forgotten. And most girls I know or women I know are like that. If it's not said or done, it's almost like it's in this forgotten box that's buried away. But it doesn't mean your partner's forgotten. It just means you're in a stage of life where right now it's not on the top of your list, but they're probably thinking about it. So, I mean, having a discussion with him to find out where he is mentally, and again, it can't be all giddy and rainbows all the time, there's going to be this settling period of, okay, you've got your things to do, I've got my things to do, and this is the way life is going to be, but we're still going to have those wonderful, exciting moments.
Yeah. I do have a recommendation for her. So I know this is what she's asking the question. So my recommendation for her, and again, we don't know her circumstances, but if her circumstances are very similar to yours and mine, you're entering into a new world. So this would be like the extreme, as opposed to I moved from Chicago to here, which is a little bit different because you still understand this environment. So
you do, but it's still, again, a completely different state.
It's a different state. Obviously, the states are different, but it's very different than going from South Africa to the United States.
Yes.
The extreme is very high. So I don't want to try to assume that she's going through that extreme, but let's say she's sort of in between. She's entered into a new place, which is exciting, and she's doing it with her partner, which she loves to do. But she also has to find a way to get her own path. So to me, that starts with smaller steps. So if she has a job, and I like to think she would, then now that's a place to start exploring where they have a little bit of distance between them because you're doing life, but then they're together and they're enjoying those moments that they can share together.
He is the constant for her at this moment. So she relies on him quite a bit.
So I do think that I would really highly encourage her to get out there and start figuring out this new environment and how her path is in this environment separate from his.
Finding your own place in the world. I think that's very important for anyone out there.
And just before it seems overwhelming because you're in a brand new place, it's always in baby steps. It is going to the grocery store. It's going to the gym. It's, taking your book and going to have coffee if you don't have a job. I mean, something like that start putting you into an exploratory phase. And I think that's a beautiful part of moving into a new place. It's exciting. Can be daunting too. But I do think if you're able to take it as this is a new adventure and I have a part of this adventure I need to explore, then she's got a great step forward. And I think they're going to kind of fall together with a little bit of time.
They're going to meet up together again, and they're going to probably look back on that moment, as I think we have several times, and just be like, oh, it was temporary, but I mean, I found my way eventually.
Yes.
And, you weren't left alone, because there's something about, again, the absence makes the heart grow fonder. To have this little bit of distance, whether it be a few hours or a day or two from your partner, does make you rekindle your appreciation. Not that it wasn't there before, but it does remind you again of how much you do appreciate your partner, and it will then let you know, just let them know, I appreciate you and I love you. And I hope they found their way. It's a wonderful story to end off with. And it's very easy, I think, when you're dealing with a male and a female perspective, our heads and the way our minds work are in completely different places. A man, again, in the story, it's like, I need my space. I don't need to verbalize everything. And, it's not to say all women, but some women, tell me how you feel. I really want to know. And again, it's this reassurance of you're loved, you're wanted. Yes, I do see you in that dress. You look beautiful. They might be thinking that, but they won't always say it.
Yeah. So I know that we kind of have exhausted this one a little bit, but I do want to leave a little general note for men, and I hope this helps this woman as well. Men generally are having or do have a hard time expressing their emotions, just in general. And that's a little more of a societal thing. I think my dad taught me to be very expressive. He was very expressive. So, however, that's not necessarily a valued trait in society in general. And so there's this grunting, I'm strong man. It's almost like
don't show emotion.
Don't show emotion.
I'm not weak.
And so it's not a negative thing towards him, but he may struggle with this a little bit. So my cue to this woman is try to understand how he is without necessarily the verbalization, like you mentioned. And then allow him a chance to kind of sort of come out and be able to encourage the way he feels. But if you ask it and he's trying to process it in his head, and it might be a pressure. It might be a pressure he doesn't quite know what to do with. But I do think if she's intuitive to him, and I know she seems like she really loves him and she wants to be there, then remain that way. Be intuitive, see him and feel him, but you don't have to necessarily get him to express things.
They really are having to get to know each other in a different setting because they've been long distance for so long, and this is an adjustment we had to make.
Yeah.
You've spoken on the phone for so long, and you've had these small increments of time, whether it be a week or a few days, and now it's almost like you're learning everything all over again, which is a wonderful part of a relationship. I mean, it's pretty boring if nothing changes. I think there's a lot of excitement in simply, as we did recently, redecorate the living room. It's something we've been talking about for a very long time. And that's almost added this whole new area of excitement in our relationship because we spend so much time in that room. So we get to appreciate it. So, but we're also learning a lot about each other in the sense of how do you look at the way a room fits together and how do I look at it, and let's mesh them together because that's going to make a really fun dynamic. And we'll leave you with that. I love home decorating.
Can I just end on a funny note here? I'm going to share an anecdotal story. So my parents, together for 50 years, very unusual circumstances as well, very much like Savannah and I and how they came together. One of the things I dreaded as their son is I would come to their house and they would rearrange the furniture all the time. And of course, I was the muscle, which is fine. I mean, this is great being a son and being able to do that, but I could not understand that. And so I think over a period of time, I finally began to understand. It was a renewal. And so I'm very happy that we're able to have done that and change the feeling of a room, and the energy is different too. So
and
I'm amused by this.
This is why we also appreciate this room so much, because we've transformed it into a place where not only do we get to enjoy it together, but we get to enjoy it with our audience as well.
Absolutely.
So again, we want to thank you all for being with us. We are starting up, but we are absolutely grateful you're along this journey with us, and come along with us, see what we do. We've got a few more things up our sleeve. We have a few personal stories. If you want to get to know us a little bit more, we're excited to share.
Ask questions.
Questions. We love
provide
questions.
Those, and we will respond back as much as we can, and we'll try to bring it into like a future episodes. So, well, with that.
All right. We're closing out this Munch Corner podcast episode. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
And thank you for joining us. Until our next time.